Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I am your host, Charlie. I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, Zealeus. And isn't he look snazzy?
Sup? I forgot my usual change of clothes coming out of my apartment this morning. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to look snazzy tonight because, well, I feel like looking snazzy. So here I am. Yes, so what is going on with you, Mr. Charlie Everett Hopkins III?
Well, okay, so there's lots of news to get through today. Of course, the official reveal for Medusa for SMITE is out. And unfortunately, I forgot to post it. So I will post it afterwards. Post Medusa.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm over SMITE.
Post Medusa.
Didn't you already write that once?
Yes.
Okay, just check it.
I'm just
reiterating your own handwriting so you don't know what you don't write.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. So, I thought I was over SMITE, and it turns out that I'm back!
With a vengeance! To kill people and other gods.
Well, I'm actually 6 and 7 since I last picked it up.
Nice.
I'm not playing any Conquest. I'm not playing Conquest. I'm not playing
Joust.
Joust. I'm not playing Joust. I'm not playing Siege either.
So you're just playing Arena.
I'm playing Assault and Arena.
So you're playing with random gods.
Hmm?
Yeah.
I'm not playing random gods in Arena. I'm playing as on her every single time.
Why on her?
Because he is a great guy to have as like a support bonus.
Okay.
Because he's got that that pillar of sand that slows everyone down.
Pillars of sand slowing people down. I like it. Does it get in their eyes and make them blind too? Because sand makes me go blind.
Yes. I'm going to say yes.
I mean,
probably not.
A reasonable expectation.
It's like quicksand. It's like quicksand. It's going to slow you down. I don't think it's going to blind you, though.
But it'd be a much more efficient use of sand if it also went into the air and blinded your opponents. I'm just saying, you might as well do 2 for 1.
Hello, Savage Whispers. And, that's cool. Okay, really quick. There's been a game that's been out for, like, ever. I feel like it's been out forever, because I get these random...
Duke Nukem?
No, not Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem took forever to get out.
Well, Duke Nukem 3D, but not the original one.
Okay, fine.
No, Duke Nukem Forever. Duke Nukem 3D's been out forever.
Right, okay. Well, Duke Nukem, the whole series has been out forever. Yes. There's a game, though, called Dead Trigger 2, which is, it's a zombie-based... I mean, it's a zombie killer. I mean, that's really what it is. But it's for the mobile device, like this bad boy right here. And it is now come over to the Windows Phone side. So now, like, you can get it on the App Store, Android, and Windows.
Windows Phone have actual applications that run on a Windows Phone now? That's amazing!
Outside of MS-DOS.
Well, I like to run MS-DOS and play some Lord on it.
Indeed. Okay, I'm trying to save the biggest, the most interesting piece of news for just a little bit longer. But I will say I am slightly saddened by the fact that Zavient, one of the, I guess, 3 big name studios in Atlanta, Georgia, has closed their doors. To be totally honest with you, I didn't think their game was going to be a success. It was a very ambitious game. It looked beautiful, but I got bored of it like almost immediately. The game, of course, is called I
don't know what it's called.
Lichdom Battle Mage.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing you play that game.
Yeah. I also have like a beta tester t-shirt somewhere.
Yeah, one of your mini swags from Kickstarter.
No, it's not a Kickstarter game.
From somewhere.
From the Georgia Game Developer Association meetup.
IGDA, yeah.
GGDA.
GGDA.
Make that mistake, man. It's 2 different things.
Okay.
Go take it. I'll continue to talk. Anyways, while Zealeus appears off stage, let us continue with the news. I'm trying to avoid that one. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, I don't know if you guys are huge MMO fans, but one of those, I don't know if you really call it an MMO. In my opinion, this game is a very much, you play it while playing another game, and that, of course, is EVE Online. EVE Online was created by CCP, Crowd Control Productions, and they, of course, are the terrible, terrible team that closed the chapter for Worlds of Darkness MMO. They also closed the Atlanta office, which, of course, affects me directly because we are based here in Atlanta, Georgia. But they have basically come out and said they're putting almost all of the eggs that they have left into the basket of VR. Yes, of course, EVE Online continues to do their usual updates and whatever, but they're really trying to push VR in the form of EVE Valkyrie. EVE Valkyrie, of course, is the VR game where you are going to be first-person shooting inside your cockpit and all that stuff. They're doing it for the Oculus Rift and for the PlayStation Morpheus, which means, of course, that CCP will continue to do when you go to the console side, exclusively Sony, and then, of course, the PC, which is where it has resided forever. I'll be very interested to see how this goes. They are really hoping that VR completely 100% takes off. I don't know if it's going to completely take off. I mean, let's see here. Let me see if I can. I don't know how this will, if they'll like this or not, the system I'm using, if it's going to like it or not. But I want to show you a quick video. Let's see here. Let's see if I can't set this up. Okay, that looks promising. 1 second. Oops. Here we go. Let's see if we can't get this guy to work. Where's my mouse?
Begin systems check. Navigation systems online. Rockets online. Engines online. Magnetic coating engines.
Hold on tight, we're ready to deploy.
Launching in 3, 2, 1.
1 second. That's cool. Notice the head movements, courtesy of your VR helmet.
This is Lieutenant Cavett. Escort missions are pretty routine, so let's use the time wisely and brush up on your flight skills. Activate boosters and group at the waypoint.
SMITE Medusa, this is Convoy Mark 6 Heavy. Copy. SMITE Medusa, this is Convoy Mark 6 Heavy. Do you read?
Where are you going, pilot?
No response from SMITE 3 Zealeus full bearing and continue approach pattern.
I don't like this. Something's up. Stay close.
I gotta give it to him. It looks very pretty.
Cavett to all fighters. Align on Vector 39er.
It's been way too long since I've played EVE, so I can't tell you what type of ships these are. But they're probably dreadnoughts and some other different types of ships. Oh,
You've
snap.
got multiple hostiles inbound. Form up on me and prepare to defend the carriers. If we lose them, we're stuck out here. Check your 6.
Is this a brag? Weird.
Good kill. We're taking heavy losses here. Now hold them on. You head for our last carrier.
And we died.
Whoa, there's loud music.
See you in the next one.
Whoa, what is going on?
Sit down. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A little sneak peek of Eve Valkyrie, which of course is the VR game that.
Virtual reality?
Yes.
Is
I
it
know.
like reality in my eyes?
Oh lordy, 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 lord. Anyways, so that's basically what CCP is banking on right now. Like I said, I don't know if I believe that. I just VR. If it could go mainstream, that would be awesome. But I still don't think that that banking everything on a virtual reality portion of your universe is, But then again, it's the risk reward.
It's coming, man. Virtual reality is coming to your house, whether you like it or not, and I like it. For one.
Right. Okay, that's cool. If you're still around, if there's anything you would like to chit-chat about, please chit-chat in the window and we will bring it up.
Preferably other than killing everybody. Unless it involves FPSs or MMOs.
Yes.
Then it's fine to kill everybody.
Yes. Okay, so, all right, let's get right into the bread and butter of everything. And this, of course, is the hot topic that seems to be affecting...
Is Hot Topic still even around?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I don't know, man.
Yes.
I'm not a goth.
I know
don't
that
these
you don't
things.
go into malls very often. But you don't have to be a goth to recognize that the dang store still exists. All right, anyways, the big, I guess, topic of the day is, of course, Star Citizen. Star Citizen is the game created by the dude who made Wing Commander.
Whoa, Wing Commander. That's a pass from the blast.
Yeah, I mean, well, he was...
That was a good game.
Yes. Blast from the past, not pass from the blast.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Man.
Anyways, so their Star Citizen has raised over $77 million. They did do a Kickstarter, but right as the Kickstarter was winding up, I don't remember. You know what? I think they in the 11th hour. I think they canceled their Kickstarter and said, "Hey, anyone who did the Kickstarter stuff, if you want to pledge what you pledged over Kickstarter, please go to our website. You can pledge there. This will get you cooler stuff or something like that."
Cooler stuff. Cooler virtual reality.
So here's the deal. Star Citizen was supposed to come out in 2014.
That didn't happen.
No, it did not, because it's still not out. It's supposed to be this, of course, MMO, massive multiplayer online game, where you get to choose you get a ship, and of course you could buy more ships and all that stuff. And it's like this perpetual environment. There's several different modes. And because they've raised $77 million, they actually have 4 studios working on this game currently. Each studio has a different portion of the game to create. One of them is for like skirmishes. One's for like the MMO world. Another one is for like kind of like ship design and stuff like that. More artsy stuff. So a lot of people have come out and said that this dude is the best snake oil salesman they've ever seen, because it is now 2015. We are now in the month of April, and basically all you can do in the game currently is you can look at your hangar, which has, of course, you've got to, first to put down money, but you have your hangar where you can see your ship, and it does not move, and basically you just walk around your hangar. Now, of course, there is a I'm Okubi 0. I hope I pronounced that right. I apologize if I didn't. There is like a beta, like one-on-one skirmish mode, and the individuals who have tested this out have said that this thing is beyond buggy. It's not worth it. The weird thing is there's already like a community, a society building up. There's guilds and guild/clans already being created in Star Citizen. There, a lot of people are just doing Skype meetings to try to do like team building exercises, which is it's kind of cool. If this thing actually ever comes out, it might be a hell of a game. Be the question is, will it ever come out? Now, of course, they continue to do stretch goals, and one of the stretch goals was to add VR to it. because it's Wing Commander. It's like the spiritual successor to Wing Commander. So it's a first-person battle spaceship shooter type of deal. So
See, I remember, and that's what I was trying to find on my phone. Is I could have sworn that I remember reading reviews from the virtual, because one of the original impetuses behind this game was to be able to do the whole Wing Commander thing using virtual reality. And I could have, using like the Oculus Rift, for instance.
right, well, the Oculus Rift got added at $50 million.
And I could have sworn reading a review for this game with people using the Oculus Rift in the combat atmosphere and basically raving about it. Unless it was a different type of space shooter game. Because I remember that, it was a Wing Commander type of game that they're talking about how pretty cool it was.
It could be E-Valkyrie.
It was definitely not E-Valkyrie.
Okay.
I could have sworn it was this game. So I could have sworn that there have been reviews, obviously in beta, about the game, unless it was very possibly another space shooter type of game.
I'm going to guess yes.
And that's what I was trying to find. It's like, I can't find it now. It's really annoying me.
Well, okay, so
Which does give me another piece of news.
the issue with this game is that I know, big surprise. We'll tell you what that news is in a second. The thing that's pissing off people about this game is that there are those individuals out there who, of course, think that this guy's a snake oil salesman. He's not ever going to release a real game, and we've just paid him $77 million to go buy himself Ferraris.
Sweet.
That's what a lot of people are saying. There are other people saying that they're happy that they've given this company money, but they're starting to feel like the company's digging around too much with added extras instead of working on the game.
But it seems like we've seen that a lot with these type of games where they bring in absurd amounts of millions of dollars.
Well, but the difference is with like any Kickstarter game is you do crowdfunding and then it stops.
Yeah.
This one, to this day, is continuing to crowdfund. I don't want to say tchotchkes, but basically the tchotchkes that they keep throwing out there are, like special limited edition battleships that you could buy for $1,500.
Woo! I want my limited edition
And it's
battleship in real life.
And it's only in game.
Hmm.
And there's a gentleman that they interviewed for the piece that I was reading, I think it was on Wired, who has spent over $3,000. And he's like, man, I can't wait to buy more. And I'm like, I would really have to love the game to be put in. I understand. A lot of people are going, I paid this money, I should get the game. And it's really kind of, you're paying for the ability to play the game when it comes out, which is, that's, okay, so it's kind of Minecraftian, the way that they're going about their crowdfunding, but at the same time, Minecraft had a beta that you could mess around with. This one, not really. But they're also going with they're also trying to feed into a Pokemon type of mentality where you got to have all your ships. And a lot of people apparently are really into that. I personally keep forgetting that I've actually put down $125 for this game, and I should probably check it out to see if I can look at my very barren hangar because I only got one ship. I guess I got a ship. Shit,
It's called Star Citizen.
Yeah. Star Citizen.
Basically, it's a game that's been in development for a couple of years, and it's raised $77 million.
Or at the time of this the publication that I read, it's probably raised more. It could be amazing. The gentleman who did it did kind of revolutionize things when he did the Wing Commander series.
It's a very, very ambitious game.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
But it's kind of one of those situations where it seems like you get a game that brings millions, but you don't have any limitations. So instead of doing 2 things really well, you do 10 things not to completion.
Well, that's the risk for any developer out there. When you
Well, I probably will wait till it actually comes out.
the reviews are probably coming out in 2016. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
That's probably, there isn't really much of a game to actually review as part of the catch.
They're hoping that there's going to be enough of the game to kind of do like a beta release by the end of 2015. They're hopeful. But here's some of the crazy stuff that they're doing right now. one of the 4 pod companies that are working on this game are making in-game commercials for the different ships.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll be walking around the game or whatever, and you'll see an ad for, I don't know, the Phantom Viper the Phantom Viper fighter plane or ship that you can get from Harry's and Joe's down in this quadrant. So it's kind of interesting. They've also raised enough money. I think it was like when they reached 70,000, they brought in linguists. Oh my God, I cannot. People who are good with languages.
Linguist.
Yeah, and they're going to be making up like alien languages to add into.
So they do like another Tolkien.
Yes, a lot of people. The funny thing is, a lot of people have actually called him the Tolkien of
Space games.
Space games. So we'll see. I mean, it's very interesting. It's very the very itty bitty little piece that you actually get to play with is very, very buggy. We'll see. Like I said, I put $125 in there, like way back when. So I probably Star Citizen.
Try to look into that, yeah.
Yeah. So the question is,
There's a question to this?
yeah.
Oh.
Seeing as how it's going, at this point, would you add money to the pot?
Well, considering my previous...
I know that you don't crowdfund.
Yeah, I don't crowdfund, so no.
But let's say that, okay,
Well, hypothetically speaking, if I
hypothetically.
did crowdfund, then yes, I would. Because this seems like it's one of those type of games. Should the ambitions actually succeed for where this game is going, between the whole space MMO combat atmosphere and the whole virtual reality thing, which is something I want, this is a game I absolutely want to have in, yes.
Okay.
So as far as what I would love to see in a game, this game sounds absolutely sweet. So as far as that regard, yes, it's a game I'm totally on my radar. I've been, kind of following here and there. But it seems like a lot of those kind of... We're still waiting in that first ambitious virtual reality game to actually succeed.
Right.
Something that really takes off. And this is another one of those games. It's not the only game by any stretch of the imagination. But there's other games like, yeah, virtual reality, yos.
Well,
That's very ambitious, too.
right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of it. I think there's a lot of ambitious projects for virtual reality. Basically, ambitious video game projects. Let's just keep it to games.
That are mostly not AAA studios,
right. Well,
too.
of course, because
Which is key.
right. Well, to be honest with you, the AAA studios aren't going to waste their money
But I
because
mean,
they want a known entity.
But in most of the games who are really trying to do, most of the studios who are really trying to come up with a big time VR game are having to be crowdfunded.
Right, because no one in their right mind is going to be funding something that's an unknown.
Yeah.
I kind of okay. So this is what's going to happen is kind of like the Mass Effect 3, where there was a Kinect enabled piece to it that I never used, and I fear that this might go the way of the Kinect unless there is that earth-shattering game. But the problem is, in order for a game to be earth-shattering enough for people to really jump on the VR bandwagon, it's got to be VR only. But at the same time, there's not going to be enough people with VR equipment out there. So how the heck are they going to find out about this? There's got to be like a centralized location or like a huge grassroots campaign where you set up all these different little hubs with the VR stuff that all these gamers can go see. I don't know where, the mall maybe, if people still go to the mall.
You remember we used to have, like at Dave & Buster's, you used to have the virtual reality
I've
games.
never stepped foot into Dave & Buster's.
Okay, well, once upon a time, many, many years ago in a world far, far away, you could go to Dave & Buster's, and I remember putting on, like, the big-ass helmet. It'd come over your head.
Yep.
And you do, like, the, virtual reality of the 90s with the helmet around your head. And it was pretty cool, actually. It was fun. So, it's there. But you're right. Most of the game, actually all the games that are coming out that have virtual reality is...
It's an added component.
Yeah, it's an added component. It's not, you can still play without virtual reality. So you gotta ask yourself, and I'm willing to spend a couple extra $100 for a add-on when I can already play the game without the virtual reality.
Is there going to be that big of a difference?
And-
It's going to be. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a game that has that complete added immersion effect with the VR. It's good enough standing alone, but it's that much better if you have the VR element on. I just don't know how you would do it.
But I think you'll get that. You know, you look at any change in the way that we game, and that happens eventually. I mean, look at, you know, the iOS device. And, you know what, probably one of the first big games on, you know, your iPhone was, as much as we abhor it, is Farmville.
Was it on the phone?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the first big games because of the social aspect. And Facebook, too, yes. But in terms of how it kind of, in that way we'd probably say negatively, but it kind of revolutionized how developers and publishers looking at gaming now.
Right. I
think at some point you will have that game that comes out for that platform. It's just, it might take a while, but eventually that game will get there. Because you had it for the mobile devices, and that's kind of, I think, the next big architecture of hardware is the virtual reality. But you're going to, yes, have that game. That's going to have to revolutionize it somehow.
How about this, Craig? Okay, now I'll go on a way, like, hypothetical limb here.
Well,
but how about if...
It feels like you're getting checked by Zdeno Chara in your virtual reality game.
No, I would never play that game because that would hurt like a mofo.
It's lifelike, man.
Your cell phone becomes kind of like a Google Glass type of deal, and that has the VR feed. That has kind of like an augmented reality VR component to it, and then you get the games through there.
Well, you do know that's how Google Glass works already.
You know that they discontinued Google Glass.
Yeah, but it already works through your cell phone. Like, the Google Glass does not work without an Android phone.
No, I'm saying this goes bye-bye. And the glasses are your phone, your music device, all that stuff.
Well, funny stuff is, I think that's what Apple actually wants to do with their watch.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Apple Watch.
But I can see it, like, Apple's already going that way with the Apple Watch, where it's going to be the iPhone killer.
It's not.
I never said it's going to be, but I think that's what Apple.
You need to improve the battery by like 3 or 4 times.
I think that's what people get conditioned to. Think about it.
It's a battery that lasts 6 hours if you actually use the device.
Okay, cell phone. I still have my old damn flip phone from a decade ago. How long did our old Nokia battery lives last on those old cell phones?
Like a day and a half.
What kind of cell phone did you have, dude? My freaking flip phone would last me 2 weeks on one charge. Okay. My point is...
The thing is, the more complex you make a system, the more draining it is going to be on the battery. Therefore, you have to do an enhancement on a battery in order for that system to continue to work at the capacity you're looking for. Boom!
But the people use their phones that have day battery lives or half-a-day battery lives, and people don't give a shit.
I agree. I agree. I'm going to guess Little Killer or Killer 3 or... They're not going... Basically, what's being said is they're not going to keep the Apple Watch going. I am sure they are doing it just so they have something in that space.
I disagree. I think Apple really looks at the Apple Watch as the next big thing for Wall Street. Because here's why.
Dude, the Galaxy, the stupid little...
I disagree. And here's why. The reason I think so is because their iPad...
Kubi agrees.
Kubi, you're the man for Charlotte.
Yeah,
it's because their iPad market is dwindling. Wall Street is pissed off at Apple right now because people are not buying new iPads because there's no reason to refresh your iPads.
Duh, because it's the same damn thing. They just made it 3 ounces lighter.
Exactly. So Apple has
they're going to put it on a smaller screen that's going to be a battery drainer. And by the way, the more advanced you make the watch, the hotter it's going to be, and you're going to get third-degree burns on your wrist. That's a great idea!
So Apple now has to look at, okay, what other hardware market can we venture into because people aren't refreshing their iPads every 2 to 3 years.
Virtual reality.
Cell phone.
Not the watch. The watch has been around for hundreds of years.
I think Apple really... I'm not saying it's going to succeed. I don't know if the Apple Watch is going to succeed. If I knew it's going to succeed, I would, be an investor on Wall Street. But I really think Apple looks at the Apple Watch, rightly or wrongly, as being their next big hit. Apple doesn't throw out shit in the hardware atmosphere just to throw stuff out there to be a player. They go out.
I think there's times where like, you know what? This might sound like a cool idea. Here, Have at it.
Okay.
Does it work?
Look at the iPad. Look at their last two big hardware ventures. The iPad and the iPhone, and how did those end up? They become
Those are the
the
last two big ventures, but keep going.
Okay, what's the other one?
Apple TV.
And that's doing okay. You're okay. Fair enough. You're right. The Apple TV. It's been
Solution.
It's
We
been
will
okay.
all become cyborgs. Yes!
Hey, if I could get the little thing that goes through my freaking eye, you know, like the little the lens, the eye lens,
Just go with Cyborg Island.
cyborg eye lens. I'm totally getting it, man. I don't care if like I have to sell my soul to the devil. I'm getting my cyborg eye lens. I want one because I want my fucking holodeck. But I
VR. That's VR there again.
But I think Apple looks at the Apple Watch as the next big revolution in hardware. It could be an epic failure for Apple, but I really think they're all in on it.
I think it's going to fail.
I don't know. People thought the iPad, when the iPad 1 came out, everybody was like, what this shit is this? It's a piece of crap. When the first iPhone
when it first came out, it was a piece of crap.
Exactly. The same thing with the first iPhone. The first iPhone came out.
Fine.
Everything
The
was-
Apple iWatch 37 will be
You're right.
successful.
Okay. That's the history of Apple. Is the first generation of all Apple products suck giant monkey balls, which I don't like. I don't like giant monkey balls. But once Apple gets their second or third edition, then it actually is a product worth getting.
Okay. They're saying Apple should have made a pocket watch, the one on the chain, because no one uses watches anymore, so why not bring that back? That would be kind of cool. And to be honest with you, I do use a watch. It is a Pebble, though. And I like the fact that I can get updates on my phone. And, oh, by the way, this thing lasts for a week!
But
Oh, shit, I got to go to work. And halfway through work, oh, I need to plug in my watch!
I think you grow. I think tech people though greatly, because we're in our own little insular world where we give a shit about these specifications of battery life and speed. I don't think most people actually care.
Will the average Joe who gets an Apple Watch be impressed by the fact that halfway through the day their watch is dead?
I think they'll be fine charging it. People are fine charging their phone a quarter of the way through the day as it is, and they don't bat an eye at it. I see it all the time. So I think the battery
That's a
life.
phone! You can do so much more with the phone!
That's what they
watch!
That's what they said about the phone. The people said the iPhone wouldn't sell when it came out because of that same exact reason.
That's a phone! This is a watch! You tell time and then you poorly see notifications.
This is a phone, man. All it does is talk to people. What else do I need to do?
You can't.
What else do I
I'm
need
not
to
playing games on my.
What else do I need to do on a phone besides talk to people, man?
Play games. Check your email.
Exactly. That's my point. It's previous to the.
Oh wait, hold on. A 37-line email. It says. Oh no, I can't enlarge it because it's okay. Well, yeah, I'll have to call him back when I get to the office.
See, this is the mini version of the iPhone. Well, it's not an iWatch, but the same pebble size. Wait till you get like the bracelet watch.
By that time, you're going to get inserts that project your stuff on your arm. Though you're going to probably have to shave your arm if you're.
And then we're at the show continuum, and shit goes to hell. Which
Sony,
is
what the
great
fuck?
show, by the way.
Sony for the win.
Oh no! You did not bring up Sony.
All right, let's do Sony.
I think we do a drinking game. Every time somebody cheers on Sony, we take a drink.
They should have made the watch a wallet so you can have NFC stuff.
Oh, near field communications.
There you go.
What Apple is trying to do with their Apple Pay stuff using, guess what, your cell phone.
Right, your phone.
So they are trying to do that with your phone for you. Actually, I'm kind of surprised NFC is not in the Apple Watch, going to be honest.
Anyways, okay, real quick. I'm sorry, but Sony.
I'm going to sit back for a while.
Sony was an amazing company back in the time when the PlayStation 2 came out. After that time, Sony's been on a downward spiral. I know that the PlayStation 4 seems like this awesome device, and it is a device. It's no longer a console because the vast majority of the individuals or consumers that utilize the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are looking for a media-centric device that also sometimes plays games. Yes, the Morpheus is going to be PlayStation 4 VR helmet, but I'll be very interested to see how well that succeeds. Now, you also have to take into effect that Sony has the PSP. They decided to go with the UMD format. How did that turn out for them? no one has been able to corner the mobile game market outside of Nintendo. And that's why Nintendo is, Sony Walkman. Can't wait to get one of those. Damn it! You derailed me. Okay, hold on.
It's easy to do, man.
Okay.
Sony sucks.
So basically, they do the PSP, the UMD format. Sounds cool. No one wants it. That disappears. You do the PSP Go, a digital only. You cannot transfer any of your past PSP games onto the device. How long did that last? Like 2 weeks. Then you have the PS Vita, which I think grand total, and I'm exaggerating. I know there's more people out there, but I'm going to say 8 people out there that have the PS Vita.
Hey, there's one in our panel who had one.
Yes. I have an Xperia Z3, better than Apple. I wouldn't know. I jumped out of cell phones when I stopped being a developer for them. So I have an Apple iPhone because with an extra battery, simply because that's where some of the independent games that we review at Alter Confusion are accessible on. So, anyways, Sony has, and of course, one of the things that really affects my view of Sony was the PSN hack attack, which stole, a ton of people's credit card information, all that stuff, and I was one of those individuals. And then, of course, I know this isn't Sony, the game portion, but also, you got Sony Pictures leaking or being able to get hacked for all of the important information for all the stars and people and stuff. That's kind of... So Sony as a company is not all that awesome in my opinion.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, good
Yes,
sir. And this brings up a bit of news.
Okay.
So OnLive, basically, OnLive is the company who a couple of years ago was like, guess what? We're going to allow you so you can basically stream your game to your TV and play it that way, so you don't have
to install anything.
Yes. So basically, to streaming your game device. Now,
Yep.
OnLive and Sony have announced that OnLive is shuttering their doors as of basically the end of April 30th, which
Big surprise.
probably means you won't be able to buy anything you bought through OnLive.
You won't be able to keep any of the games that you purchased through there. Yep.
Which is the whole idea if you don't actually own any game you purchase anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, back in the 80s, you've never owned any software that you've bought. You've bought the right to use it.
True.
It's just not a lot of people have understood that because they've had the physical copy that they can install and utilize anytime they want to.
Thank you, Captain Pedant.
You're welcome.
I was gonna Nice. Okay, but so OnLive, their patents specifically, it didn't actually say anything about the service itself, but the OnLive patents for game streaming have been sold to Sony. But the reason I think it's actually kind of relevant to Sony, and from Sony's perspective makes sense, is because Sony has tried making their own little headway into the streaming world because the whole idea is you're supposed to be able to use your mobile devices, of whose acronyms I've got mixed up over the years, so that basically using my mobile device, I can now play my PlayStation 3 or 4 games using my mobile device. So I can see Sony. It seems like Sony. Going along the same lines though, is Sony is like, well, it makes sense. Of any of the gaming/console manufacturers out there, of Sony, it does make the most logical sense to buy the patents of OnLive, because they're the ones who have really tried to make headway into that world of actually being able to stream your games in some form, successfully or not. They're really the only console manufacturers really tried to make this happen using their own technology.
Okay, so real quick, Sony, yes, once upon a time did that. Absolutely. They don't do it anymore because they thought it was a stupid feature. Just like they thought the Rumble was a stupid feature for PlayStation.
So do you think that this is Sony, though? Do you think that with the purchasing of OnLive's patents, that Sony's going to try to make a re-entry into that market of streaming games in some form or fashion?
No. I think that they literally want to hold on to the patents so that when people want to try to utilize something close to it, they could sue them.
So they become their own patent trolls, what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. I disagree. I think Sony's going to try to do something in online streaming, but in typical Sony fashion, it's going to implode very spontaneously. It's going to combust in their faces.
Well,
I think they're going to try to use them.
Some of the streaming stuff that Sony was trying to accomplish, they scaled it back to having to be on the same wireless network as the system.
Well, the other reason too is,
PlayStation now.
but I also think I have a thought, and you made me lose the thing. So, way to go! It's the IPA fault.
The ironic thing is we were
Oh.
just talking. Okay, keep going.
I know where it was. So you're the one who keeps on, reinforcing the fact that the PlayStation isn't just a gaming device now. It's
It's a media-centric
It's a media-centric
that also
device.
plays games.
But I think Sony sees that, so it's like, hey, we have this media-centric device. So how do we kind of maybe get back toward gaming roots in a way? Maybe they see the streaming potential of video games as a way to further reinforce the gaming atmosphere.
How about allowing offline gaming?
It could be. I
I know.
mean, I know what you're saying. Where I don't see Sony purchasing them just to become a patent troll, because only in the realm that they've already tried doing online streaming in some way, and yes, it has not succeeded, probably to Sony's want. But I think that they kind of look at us like, okay, let's try this again. And I don't know what form or fashion, but I think we're going to see them try again to do some kind of online. Because think about it, because you got the PlayStation, you got the Xbox, and you got the Wii, and then you have the whole PC market.
You're not gonna have the Wii for much longer.
Well, that's a discussion for probably another week, like entire week's worth of discussions. But as far as PlayStation goes, that could potentially be a way to differentiate themselves from the other gaming markets of, hey, look at us, you can stream all of our shit. Because, well, we're online, now we're PlayStation. So that could potentially be a way for Sony to differentiate themselves in the gaming market as far as streaming.
Okay,
I'm
the
just
one
saying,
advantage the one advantage Sony is going to have over OnLive is that they're going to have a lot more data banks to utilize for when you stream games. The problem with OnLive is that, or what the problem that was with OnLive was the fact that the data banks were few and in between, and the further you were from said data banks, the more latency and the more problems potentially could happen to you. Now, of course, Sony has a ton of money. I guess. I don't know. I mean, they keep selling stuff
I would
off,
assume so.
I would assume so. So they probably can set up something if they want to go that route.
Well, I imagine they have contracts with, like, Akami and the other, content distribution networks.
Mhm.
Basically, so you got your CDNs, your content distribution networks.
Mhm.
What happens to a lot of these companies, like, say, Sony, or especially like a Netflix, or especially with your media, is what they actually do is they'll go into those CDN server rooms and they say, boom, here's our content in your content distribution network.
Mhm.
And PlayStation, much more than OnLive, has the resources and cloud to work with those CDNs to implement some kind of system to basically the video games where you reduce that latency.
I'm sorry. I'm just not to the point where
You're
I want to stream. I mean, I understand it would be cool because, well, first of all, Microsoft will never do it because they love. Well, actually, yeah, Microsoft will do it. Everyone will do it. If we were talking the Xbox 360, they would never do it because they love their proprietary hard drive
Yes.
that costs an arm and a leg.
I know I did it.
But
But
I'm sorry. I grew up gaming starting in the 80s all the way to today. So I want to be able to play my games rain or shine.
But that's exactly why they want to do this. It's because guess what this means if they make streaming.
It becomes more of a service.
Yes, they want to do the service on the cloud.
Which
That's
is
what they
I
want.
don't want.
But that's what they
What
want.
do you think of all games on consoles should have? Whoops, hold
A
on.
PC code. Then you could put them on stream in the equivalent launcher, which will never happen.
Actually, I beg to differ.
Okay.
When it comes to Microsoft games, that
I
probably
agree with you, but unfortunately, ISPs like to hold us by the balls and pull them out of our mouths.
only way they can get streaming good is if they make internet faster and cheap for everyone. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Cable companies love their data caps.
Data cap's good.
I would love to go into a little bit more information about how I know that, but let's just leave it at that. So console games and then also a code to play on your PC. I don't know how close it will be, but when Windows 10 comes out,
This is true.
Xbox One games and Windows 10 games are basically going to be the same type of flavor. So I don't see I could see some kind of maybe like bundle where you can you pay a little extra and you get both versions.
I don't
And I'm
see.
sure that you would also be able to do cross-platform as well.
I don't see it becoming prevalent across all platforms, though.
No, God, no. Sony would never do it.
I think it's really just. It's Microsoft's goal to basically upsell Windows 10. Is what it comes down to.
Well, they also want to. The thing is, the fact of the matter is, there are still regions where the Xbox is and probably will never be accepted, but they do have PCs. So they're trying to extend their reach in any way possible. We talked about this last week with Halo Online only being Russian only.
Yeah.
It's because Russia doesn't really have that footprint for Microsoft Xbox One, and they're trying to make it a bigger deal so that you can, so that they can sell more units. Which ultimately, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get to Windows 10 so that they can have 2 platforms to give you the same content. This is why Nintendo has decided to allow distribution on mobile platforms like cell phones and tablets. Signing that deal with DNA. They're trying to increase their reach. They know not everyone's going to buy a 3DS, but a lot of the games, first-party games that they have on there, they now understand that the Wii is going away. And they're probably going to be completely out of the console market in a year or 2. So to increase their foothold on people, they're going to give their addictive games over to even more mobile devices.
So is it going to become the next Sega? Is that what you're saying?
No. Nintendo will never have a problem selling their product. Sega, they did the Game Gear ahead of its time. It took way too many batteries, drained the motherfucker way too fast. They never were able to sell. Sega was never able to.
The Game Gear was pretty badass for the time.
Well, absolutely. I've got one somewhere in this house. But Sega also did not understand how to market outside of Asia. And that's, yes, there were those rebels. Oh, I'm a Sega guy instead of a Nintendo guy.
I liked my 3-button controller.
I've got no problem with Sega, and if I could, I would buy a Dreamcast today and buy a bunch of the games, and then buy Elysian Shadows when
Just
it
go
comes out.
visit Brazil.
It might be region locked though.
Why don't you have a Dreamcast? Is that like the one console you don't own?
I don't have any Segas. I've got all my Nintendos. But anyways, buyer beware when Nintendo finally pulls the trigger and gets everything in a row and does Pokemon for all platforms.
See, here's the thing, though. The ironic
Nintendo
thing
VR.
is...
They tried that. It was called the Virtual Boy, and it gave everyone headaches.
That was many years ago. But the ironic thing with Nintendo VR is, and you look at Nintendo's history of kind of being revolutionary. Like at the Kinect, and how revolutionary with that, and you look like you're looking for something.
No, keep going.
And how it went to everybody else. Of all the gaming, video game console manufacturers, Nintendo's kind of one company who would actually trust or envision to do virtual reality well without totally screwing the pooch. But is Nintendo going to be able to do that still with how the Wii's kind of fell by the wayside?
Should they re-release old games with updated graphics? Are we talking Nintendo? Because yes. If we're talking any company that have successful games, be it underground success or main.
Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition.
I once upon a time there was this wonderful thing called backwards compatibility.
What?
I know. I love that. I understand it's not a re-releasing of games, but I still love the ability to play older games. And I think that, this is kind of a little bit weighed, in my opinion, because what we do at Alter Confusion is we review independently developed games. But I think that the indie community is actually your best bet. You're not going to they're not going to re-release old games, but they can give you like a reimagining of games of old to kind of breathe new life into that genre or that
on the consoles.
You could do it you could do it in on the consoles. You could do it on the PC. You could do it.
Well, because the PC, you see it a lot on the PC actually with the reskinning.
Right.
Because the PC is very prevalent where you basically mod. Like for instance, probably the most popular ones right now is the Boulder Gates 1 and 2 Enhanced Editions. which are basically taken from the mod community. Basically, they're just the mods, which are tacked on to the game. It's done well, granted, but that's basically what they are. So you see that kind of with the PC games, with some of those very popular ones, where they are kind of re-modded to give them the enhanced graphics for today. But for the consoles, yeah, you see them on the marketplace. Not always with enhanced graphics, but they're there.
Right. Well, okay, yeah. So, but that's the dirty secret. I mean, okay, this is why I brought up backwards compatibility. What the wonderful companies do is, since backwards compatibility is a thing of yesteryear, if you are dying to play that same game on the new system, then you can pay a little extra money. And I understand that even like a reimagining of the game, you would be able to pay for it. But if I'm paying for the same game again, I'm just breaking out my old console.
But not everybody has those old consoles.
True.
Or they don't have room to store it. Like, in my apartment, I don't have room to store 8 consoles, bro.
Maybe I have 8.
Yeah, like, I don't have room to store all these freaking consoles. My cat would kick me out of my own apartment if I tried doing that. So it's kind of like, well, I'm down to 1 console, because that's, well, actually 2 consoles. But that's all I have room for. Any more than that, and I don't know where the hell I'm going to store them. So, most people, guess what? They're only going to have current generation consoles. Most people aren't all nostalgic and stuff and hold on to the old consoles.
That's wrong. No, whatever. That's up to everyone. But anyways, what if they bring back old games but made it free, but pay to play?
The problem with that idea, I hear what you're saying, but it seems like from a gameplay standpoint, they would almost have to go back and redo the game engine. Like, take a classic one, Super Mario Brothers, right? Let's make it free to play. Well, guess what happens when you make Super Mario Brothers free to play? Every publisher is going to be like, well, we still have to monetize this game. How are we going to monetize it? I know, microtransactions. So now they're going to go back and, well, you can buy a mushroom for $1. You can buy a fireball for $2. You can buy Yoshi for $5 per stage.
Yes, you could go that route, and absolutely, there are a lot of companies out there that do. Another thing is some games are out there where they give you, like, look, we'll continue with the Mario Brothers analogy or example. They'll give you World 1 for free, but if you want to go you go to World 2, well, that's $4.99.
Is that called a demo?
No, not necessarily.
No. I always called that a demo.
Demo, for me, in my opinion, a demo was always they took a piece from inside. It's not at the beginning. It's not at the end. It's just somewhere in between the beginning and the end, and they give you like a room or 3. So yes, technically, I guess you could go with that and that way of thinking, but for me, it's a test run. How about that? Test run.
Fair enough.
Yes, microtransactions are. There's several ways to do microtransactions, and I think that there are those companies out there who try to prey on those who are nostalgic. A great example is for a system that barely anyone knows about. It's called the Ouya. It's an Android-based console. It's literally like this big. Sega released Sonic 4 Part 1 and Sonic Part 2. Each was $15.99. So it's a $32 game. I have quite a few issues with this. First of all, it should never have been cut into 2 pieces. Second of all, $32 is way too expensive. And third of all, if you are going to give me a game like Sonic or Mario, I want to play it as I have played it in the past. What this version of Sonic 4 was, for the Ouya, was you play a level, and then it threw you back to a main menu where you got to, more of a trial, where you got to choose whatever one in Part 1 that you wanted to play. And then if you got Part 2, then you got to play whatever you want with Part 2. When I think about, like Sonic 4, I want to be able to go from the beginning and fight my way through to the end. I don't want to be like, oh, look, I bought this game for $15.99, and I could go straight to the final level. That's just me, though.
But you can still choose to play it as normal. So,
No, every single time. I mean, yeah, sure. You
But you can make that
beat
conscious
1-1.
decision.
You beat 1-1. It pops you back up to the screen. You then go. Your selector's on 1-1. You go to select 1-2, and then hit the button. Let it load. Yeah, you could do it that route, but that's just ridiculous. It should have a mode that allows you to go straight through the game the way that it was meant to be played. That's
how it was meant to be.
This is like Lucas screwing around with Star Wars a bajillion times over, okay? If it worked in the past, just let it...
Really? We're going to Star Wars.
Just let it continue to be the way that it is, okay?
It's okay, man. The new Star Wars has dropped basically all of the history. I forget what the technical term is for it, but pretty much all of the old history from all the books is gone.
Not all of it.
Most of it. I forget what the term is that they use, but most of the
A
history.
reimagining
Well, no, there's a term
of
for
the
it.
universe.
There's a very specific term that they use for, like, it's the, I have a total brain fart on what they call it. Like, you have the stuff that's actually in the movies, and that's considered the real history of Star Wars.
The mythos.
The ethos, yes. Thank you.
Mythos.
Mythos?
Yeah.
Sure. It's the mythos of it. And then everything basically outside that mythos is no longer a part of the Star Wars history. That's what it comes down to. Unless you have a book
was it ever part of it? Because I thought that all of the books were like an alternate universe.
Yes, but that's the whole point, is because when basically the idea is when Disney is now re-imaging their new movies and anything with comic books or anything they're going to do, basically all the other shit's out the window. That's what it comes down to. They're only going to get canon. They're only going to got canon and non-canon. So basically they're considering all the books non-canon is what it comes down to. So only the movies, like those 6 movies, yes, the 3 that don't really exist, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's considered part of the canon. So when they do anything in the future, that's all that matters. Everything else.
I'm sorry, there's only 3 Star Wars movies. We're talking about another 3.
By the way, I'm very excited about something, which is totally off topic, but we got on Star Wars.
Okay.
It's apparently the new Marvel Daredevil show on Netflix is supposed to be amazing.
What's that have to do with Star Wars?
Because it has to do with, like,
Ah!
made up shit.
I want to go to a Star Wars celebration.
You can probably find a Star Wars celebration at DragonCon.
If I'm going.
No, I'm talking to Mr. I don't know how to say her name, like a soul, whatever.
I think it's Little Killer 3.
Sure, I don't speak weirdly.
I swear to God, it's like there's an anime that keeps coming to my mind, and I can't remember what the hell the name of the anime is. By the way, I'm a recovering animaholic. I have more anime than I know what to do with.
You should sell it, man. You could pay like a month's or a year's mortgage.
I can't sell it, man. There's a chance that I want to watch it again, so I can't give it up.
That's what, like, BitTorrent's for.
That's illegal!
Okay.
I feel like we had another topic that we wanted to discuss. Now I can't remember what the hell it was.
Well, I brought up the OnLive thing already, so that's like out the window.
Yeah.
Well, we're already at 9 o'clock anyways.
What's wrong with anime? There's nothing wrong with anime. I'm just saying that I had a problem. I still have a problem, but it's much smaller problem than it was.
You see, my problem is I have
There-
a particular sense of humor. And anime humor does not do it for it. Like, that kind of like slapstick, haha humor of anime, of the Japanese, I don't find it amusing.
I never got into Sword Art Online, so I can't tell you. I have toned down my anime in the last 6 years.
That happens to kind of coincide with a certain person in your life.
This will be my 7-year anniversary, so no.
I'm just saying, there's
It was a monetary
there
decision.
might be a correlation there, but
That was a
monetary.
I was making 26 a year, and I couldn't afford my anime habit anymore if I wanted to play video games.
Mm.
Also, I was starting up Ultra Confusion, which meant that I needed more money.
Money, money, money!
No, I'm more of like I don't want to say old school anime, but like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, I didn't like El Hazard because it's the same freaking story for all three of them. Well, not the same story. It's the same characters, which is really weird for me. I have an issue, and maybe this is my issue with Final Fantasy. No, Final Fantasy has new characters every single time.
Yes.
With the exception of Sid. Sid's like in every single freaking Final Fantasy. They find a way to put Sid into Final Fantasies. Speaking of which, Final Fantasy 14 is having their first official expansion coming really soon, right?
I think it's actually June 23rd.
Okay, well, there you go.
I only know because I got the email. Pre-order Heavenly Sword, which I used to play way too much. But I'm going to play the expansion day one.
Oh my god, you're going to break your habit. Holy crap. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you out there who don't know, Zealeus is a bargain bin buyer. And for him to buy something on release day is like, everybody should, please pick your jaws up off
Here's the thing. Final Fantasy, I played quite a few MMOs in my day. I'm kind of an MMO-aholic. And Final Fantasy 14 is probably, in my review, by estimation, actually the best.
Nice! Yes!
Nice. It's actually, to me, the most well-rounded MMO I've played. And I really enjoyed playing Final Fantasy 14, so I have no doubt that the expansion will be up to the level of the original, well, not the original Final Fantasy 14, but Final Fantasy 14 Part
Reborn.
2, A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for it. And the other reality with Final Fantasy 14 expansions is they don't really do price drops. I think
Final Fantasy 11, they're probably the same price.
yeah, exactly. So, yes, I can wait for the price drop of Final Fantasy 14 expansion, but it'll probably be like 6 years from now.
And that'll probably be like the last month that the service is up.
Exactly. So it's like, it's one of those games where it doesn't make much sense not to buy it now because I know I'm going to play it. So I'm like, what the hell, might as well do it now. But that's a great game. Yeah, so I already got the pre-order information. I didn't actually pre-order it because, well, I haven't. But
You know, I can't think. I might actually be out of pre-order. Nope. No, well, okay. I'm out of game pre-orders.
what? No!
No, I know there's still a couple pre-orders I still have on my Amazon account. One is for the wife, so I won't even go into that one. It's that movie.
Wait, she's playing games?
No, I didn't say games. I said movie.
Oh, it's
I got no more games
so
pre-ordered.
it's the Jonathan Sparks movie that you guys can watch together?
No, it's that really dirty movie that everyone's talking about, or was talking about.
50 Shades of Grey?
Yes, my wife.
That you
was.
guys can watch together?
I'm not gonna watch it.
Dude, just give it. Dude, whatever. It can't be any worse than all the anime shit you've watched. Oh!
I'll kill him later. Okay.
It's alright. I deserve it for something.
But yes, I have a bad. Well, I'm a recovering animaholic. I have started buying anime again. Actually, it's coming in the mail.
Does your
tomorrow.
wife know yet?
No. Okay, so here's a funny story, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may have significant others. If they're like, oh, you should pre-order this for us or for me, I always go, absolutely, I will pre-order that. And while I'm there, take off his glasses before you punch him. I can't do it on camera because I don't want evidence. But I will hit him with a sock full of oranges so it leaves no bruises, but it hurts like a bitch.
Just make sure they're not frozen, please.
No, they're not going to be frozen. If they're frozen, it's going to leave a mark.
I appreciate that. It sounds like... Do I need to call defects?
No. But anyways, anytime that my wife makes me a request that I make a pre-order for her,
Request equals requirement.
I accidentally have other stuff in the shopping cart that get purchased along with it.
It's very convenient.
Mm-hmm. Like an anime that's coming. I can't remember which one it is now, because actually...
The last one I've been watching on anime is Attack from Titan.
I still need to watch that.
It's pretty damn good. I'm highly entertained by Attack on Titan. I'm excited to learn what happens.
Yeah, of course. Then, of course, we was it a couple weeks ago they released the news about the
live action
version.
Well, the reason I got into this because when we were at
Kanuga,
and everybody was dressed as some kind of cosplay for Attack on Titan with they had the scout vest on.
Steins Gate.
I'm like, what the hell is this? And Charles was like, dude, it's Attack on Titan. I'm like, oh, so I check it out. And whether it's just I don't like it, it's because it's not full of the wannabe Japanese humor, which just does not do it for me.
Real quick, shout out. There is a graphic novel that's coming out. I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but you should definitely check it out. Pre-order it. It's called Lion of Rora. Our good friend is the artist behind this book. I, of course, have already pre-ordered it. Our good friend her name is Jackie Lewis. I think she goes by Aki from time to time. I don't know. Are you going to watch the new Dragon Ball Z movie?
I can't say I've watched any
Okay.
of the Dragon Ball Z's.
Here's my issue. So let me touch on this topic real quick. There's an unfortunate thing called an Americanization of foreign entities. Dragon Ball Z, from my understanding, is along with like Sailor Moon and some other movies, like Wonderful Days and Steam Boy. When they officially come over to the U.S., they basically defile the crap out of it, and they make it Americanized because we're too different to understand the weird stuff that happens over in Asia.
Wow,
You like that?
that's a terrible accent.
I was doing it on purpose. So my problem with Dragon Ball Z is when I watched it, when it was on TV, and it's probably still on TV, but it's like, in this episode, Goku does a left kick, and then the rest of the characters running around trying to find the Dragon Balls. In the next episode, you're going to see him kick and he will morph into the Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan?
Yeah, Super Saiyan.
Oh, sure, whatever.
So, no, I'm not going to see, I probably won't see the new Dragon Ball Z movie.
It's a terrible thing, man. I am seeing tomorrow Fury 7.
Okay.
Hey, man, Vin Diesel, Paul Walker's, well, it's not quite his last movie because he's had like 6 posthumous movies, which I don't know how they keep coming out, but that's okay. But actually, he's a good guy.
You don't have to watch the English version of it. You can watch the sub version. Right, I know. So here's my dirty little secret. I like to watch stuff while I'm not supposed to be. Like,
During
say,
sex?
no, during like work hours. So I need something that's not subtitled so that I can listen to it and then look down at the important parts, but not get completely zone into it. That's why I'm binge watching all of the X-Files.
You could just like learn Japanese and you could listen to
I
it.
have thought about it so often, but then I would need the Rosetta Stone, and I can't. Well,
Well,
I
if
would-
you gave up your anime habit for like a month.
if I gave up my anime habit, or maybe I should just binge watch anime with the original Japanese and subtitles. Because I swear
So,
to God,
Legend goes.
at my peak, I literally could pick out some of the words
Nice.
for the foreign films, and then of course there's other foreign films that I like. There's a foreign film called Le Pacte de l'Eau, which is Brotherhood of the Wolf, which though I still to this day will not fully officially admit it, it's in French.
That's what I thought.
And I can kind of zone out and figure out what the hell they're saying. But I'm not. I don't know French. I'm not going to admit that I know French. Continue.
I have none. I have nothing. I was gonna try to be like, do you speak French? In French?
That
Cool parlez-vous or something?
that is French.
Yeah, I can speak French. I got the words. No hablo francés.
Okay, now you're that's like Spanglish French. Okay,
I got it all going.
okay. So we have, of course, gone over the 9 o'clock, the hour mark. I do want to get in a couple of games that we are going to be playing. So be on the lookout for the reviews, and of course, I do playthroughs of many of the games that we review, and I, of course, am trying to stream more often. Of course, the unfortunate thing is, because we are an independent video game news and review website, a lot of the games that we'll be playing are independent games. So that's not going to draw that big of a crowd unless you've already liked our channel, which I highly recommend. Like our channel so you know when the awesomeness is going down. But I also do, that's another reason why I keep playing SMITE, first of all, support the locals. They are from Atlanta, Alpharetta, if you want to be technical. And also, there are individuals who want to watch people play SMITE.
So I figured out how to get a lot of views on a video.
What?
You do an instance of MMO and you release it day one.
Right. Well, you get a AAA title and you do a stream of it day one.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is, by the time I remember that the game came out, it's like a week later.
And for me, it's like a year later when it's in the bargain bin.
Because I got Dying Light and Grey Goo, and then forgot that I had purchased both of them for like 2 weeks, and then I went on to Twitch to see whatever how many people are watching it. It's like, oh yeah, 3 people are watching Grey Goo,
No.
and 25 are watching Dying Light.
Every time I see that, I think of Grey Goose, and I just want vodka. No. Well, vodka with cranberry.
Okay, there you go. We're getting technical. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the games that we were playing, we brought up Baldur's Gate, and for good reason. There's a game that's basically the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate. It's called Pillars of Eternity. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love some Baldur's Gate and some Icewind Dale, if you want to go that way, I highly recommend that you check out Pillars of Eternity. It is in the same vein, and I'll show just an itty-bitty little snapshot for Zealeus so you can see how close it is. Another game that we are playing, I can now officially say that, oh my god, I can never remember. This damn title is way too long. Hold on. Oh my god, hold on. This is actually, you know what? Let's just pull up Steam and I'll do it from here.
It's a really long title, apparently, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie cannot remember.
Well, you try to pronounce this damn thing.
Dead synchronicity. Tomorrow comes today.
There you go. We've got that one. It comes out, I believe, next week. So I will be starting to do the playthrough of
April
it.
10th?
Yes, April 10th. Aeron, another indie game. It's hard as balls.
It just makes you think of Attack on Titan.
Yeah. And then, of course, be on the lookout for Cards and Castles, Pixel Dungeon, and Gunpowder for the.
Where's Gunpowder? I don't see a gun.
No. Gunpowder is a iPad 2 game that I need to put on my iPad. Speaking of which, Gunpowder.
I don't have an iPad.
Well, sucks for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. We hope that you have fun. Come back next Thursday when we, of course, take to the streaming waves again. But until then, for myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure to give you the amazing amount of knowledge, or maybe just knowledge coming out of our brains. And if you have any questions, comments, and concerns for us, the Alter Confusion cast, please drop us a note in our YouTube channel, our Twitter feed, our Facebook page, and of course you can go to alteredconfusion.com and you can hit the contact us button, and you can hit us from there.
We just need a MySpace page and we're set.
And we're not a band.
But we make sound, which would fit into MySpace. We can make a band.
Friendster. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.